You ever try to use ChatGPT on a textbook and it doesn't work? Me neither. For educational purposes though, I thought it'd be interesting to get ChatGPT to read and use a textbook. Using OpenAI and Python, I was able to make a brand new ChatGPT personality that can read textbooks in the form of TXT files and PDF files. We might get around to doing XML, JSON, etc. But I just did the text files that are most prevalent for textbooks. Without further ado, let's get right into it. If you see my previous video on ChatGPT, we've created multiple personalities for the AI. If you haven't seen that video yet, make sure to check it out before watching this one. It gives a brief tutorial on how to change the AI's personality. The difference between what we had last time and what we have now is when I run the Python app, we have two new personalities. Don't pay attention to Guru, he's still in the works. That's my stock exchange personality, but right now he only gives pointers on which stocks to buy, but Guru does not reference any data, so that's the next step with that one. Teddy, on the other hand, is more fleshed out than Guru. Also, don't pay attention to the colors of the backgrounds. I know they're ugly. This color scheme does not make sense. So far, these three personalities look very nice, and I really need to start drawing my Guru and Teddy icons. But for now, we just have a simple button with their name, and if I click on Teddy, this is what Teddy does. Teddy reads textbooks, retains and uses their knowledge, and accepts .txt and .pdf files. Once you click on OK, it'll open up a file selection. For testing purposes, let's try to open up an image file. It reminds us that our supported file types are txt and pdf. Let's first test this program with a .txt file. We have textbook.txt. Before we open it, I want to show you the contents of the txt file. The contents of the .txt file is, this is a motherfucking textbook. Curious George is a donkey, which I think we both know is just completely false. Curious George, as we know and love, is a monkey. But let's see if we can have ChatGPT reference this textbook instead of the internet. After selecting textbook.txt, we'll return back to the home screen and we can select chat. Let's warm Teddy up with just some hello. Get his brain working, and he's gonna be like, hello, how can I assist you today, whatever. So far, it seems like a normal personality in ChatGPT. But if I say, what animal is Curious George, Teddy's going to respond with, according to the reading, Curious George is described as a donkey. However, I must clarify that the statement Curious George is a donkey is not accurate. It appears that the reading is using this statement as an example of a misleading or false claim, as a popular character, Curious George is actually a mischievous little monkey in children's literature. ChatGPT doesn't take the textbook as certainty. It definitely questions the information that it's providing, but it has read it and it has repeated what the textbook states. So once we choose Teddy in our select AI, it's going to go to this Teddy function right here. And first of all, we're going to open a file, and that was where we select our TXT file or our PDF file. I do some things here with the path library to break up the file path so that we can have the full file name, the file name, and the stem. The stem is the .txt.pdf, so that's very helpful for determining what kind of file you are reading. File name is just nice for GUI purposes if you want to say the selected textbook is. Full file name is the name of the file with the stem on it. For TXT, it's very simple. All we do is if stem equals .txt, our textbook equals path, file path, .read text. So using the path library, we just put the file path in the parameter and we do .read text because it has a method called read text that takes your .txt file and it reads the information in the file. Once it does that, it's going to break this while loop, and we're going to go down to here. If you remember in the last episode of doing OpenAI, system message is what we give to the AI to alter its personality and give it new data to reference. So I say system message plus equals the reading is as follows. Cite to this reading as the file name and use this reading to answer any questions asked that relate to the context of the reading. So if OpenAI is asked about anything that has the same words as the reading, like Curious George, for example, it's going to reference the reading. If you don't already have path installed, you can just do pip install path lib. After you install that with pip, you can just do from pathlib import path. Path is just a library that takes file paths and alters them, uses them for data. A very good library to use when you're using outside files in your Python programs. So now that we know that this program can read .txt files, let's start testing it for PDF. Before we do testing for PDF, because I know it works. Let me explain how this works, because PDF reading in Python is a lot more complicated than simple .txt files. First off, we're going to need to install a brand new library, and this is because PDFs are not actually words on a screen in the same way that a TXT file is words on a screen. PDF files are more similar to images, and the way that Python reads the data from a PDF file, or the words from a PDF file, it converts it to binary data, and then it translates that binary data into a readable string. So the library that we're going to install to do this is called pypdf2, and you can do pip install pypdf2. Run that guy, I already have it. After you've installed it in your terminal, you can do from pypdf2 import pdf reader, and let's get down to the PDF part of the function. So if our stem equals .pdf, we're gonna ask the user which pages to read from the PDF file. I'm not completely sure why this is, and if there's any OpenAI staff that's viewing this video, maybe you guys can help me understand why I have a limit on the amount of data that I can give to an AI. I've tried to make an AI read the entire textbook, but I'm capped on my amount of data that I'm allowed to use with the library, even though I'm paying to use this library, because I've already gone over my limit of my usage. It just doesn't make sense. Give me more data to use. Regardless, the AI I've found cannot read more than around 5 pages of a book. There is a lot of data that's stored in a PDF file, especially when it's read in a raw format such as this. It's not as simple as a .txt file. You have things such as page numbers, images, margins, things like that. So that's my long explanation on why we're only allowing a certain amount of pages. We ask the user to input which pages they'd like to view. The first simple dialog we have is select the range of pages, and it's going to be for the first parameter of the interval. The second simple dialog here asks for the second parameter of the interval, and this will create an interval of which page to which page the PDF reader is reading. After we have our interval of which page to which page, we error check the page numbers to make sure that the second number isn't less than the first number, because then we'd have a negative interval, and to make sure that the pages don't exceed the limits of 0 to the amount of pages that the PDF actually has. Even though this program can read around 5 pages, I've limited it to only 3 pages of reading, just to make sure that even if there's complex pages and a lot of data, it will still be able to handle that. So after we've done all of that, we go from I in range of the page number that we start with to the page number that we end with, and pages equals pages PDF I, so this pages is going to equal which page we're selecting. For example, if we're going from 60 to 62, pages on the first go would equal 62. Text is going to equal page 62, extracted text. That's what's going on right here. Then the textbook equals the text, because text is going to plus equals, which means it's going to concatenate all the information from that certain page, starting off with 60, then it's going to do it with 61, and then it's going to do it with 62. I don't know why I started with 62, that's the last page. But yeah, that's how it's going to work. Once it's concatenated all the information from those 3 pages, it's going to append it to our system message. And then after we change the system message in the function teddy, it's going to come back to our set AI function, and it's going to append it to our role system content. So let's see if it actually works. We're going to click teddy. Yeah, you read textbooks, whatever. Also, I'm going to be using this on a real textbook. This is my textbook from school. I've included it on the right here so that we can use it for reference to see if how accurate the information is that ChatGPT is going to be talking about. We need to pick some pages to test the AI on. So let's go to page 84 right here. When you're reading PDF files as well, you want to make sure that you are not using the page number of the textbook, but the actual page number of the PDF. So even though we're on page 61 in the textbook, we're going to be using 84 because that's the page number of the PDF. This is because PDF textbooks have a lot of like Roman numeral page numbers, title pages, table of contents, all that BS goes before the actual page numbers start getting implemented. So let's do our interval as page 83 to 84 and 85. We're going to select introductory statistics. I'm going to do 83 to 85. Hopefully it saved that information. We're gonna have to see. We're going to ask it this question right here: how to construct a stem and leaf diagram. And we'll start with by saying, according to the textbook, how do I construct a stem and leaf diagram? After we select chat, it gave us the answer that we wanted. According to the textbook Introductory Statistics by Neil Weiss, which is the textbook that we literally just gave it, it gives us the 4 steps that it says right here, verbatim. Think of each observation as a stem, blah, 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 consisting. Write each leaf to the right of the vertical. I mean, you could see that it's the same thing. Do I have to read everything? Let's do one more question just to solidify if it's reading the PDF correctly. And we'll say, what is shown in table 2.12. So here is table 2.12 that we are testing it on, and we're going to ask, what does this mean? Table 2.12 shows the data of the number of days to maturity for 40 short-term investments, and that's what it says right here. Let me zoom in real quick. Days to maturity for 40 short-term investments. So that's it. That's how you make ChatGPT read a textbook. This is for educational purposes only. I'm looking at you, school. I don't use ChatGPT. I don't need it. But for educational purposes, and not even for reading a textbook, if you're trying to read some spreadsheets or something and get analytical data of it, which is what I'm planning to do for my guru personality, I want to give it past stock movements to predict what is going to happen in the future. This implementation is great for that. I hope you learned a lot about PDF reading. Even though it's a little bit complicated, all you gotta do is jump into it. You'll learn a lot about how to read PDFs, how to substring file paths, and how to extract that data from the PDF. It's great. PyPDF2 is a great library. Path, also a great library. So get in there and make ChatGPT read a textbook. If you have any questions or any struggles while implementing this code, make sure to hit me down in the comments and I will be sure to assist you as best I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.